friends, Gus here with Your Space TV. This video is going to be packed with my opinions, so try to relax, okay?
Chill out, dickwad.
And let's talk about this. A couple of days ago, Roscosmos went publicly to say that they would be evacuating the International Space Station by 2024. A lot of people are talking about this in the news, which is sad to say the least, because just 24 years ago, the Russians saved us from that asteroid thing.
This is a big problem in the Russian space station because I don't want to stay here anymore. I'm saving your American ass!
The International Space Station has had 20 years of being the symbol of East and West collaboration, along with many other countries. But ever since Vladimir Putin's been back in office, the politics of space has grown to a bad cancer. But can they really abandon the space station and just leave it in limbo like that? Yeah, they kind of can. But listen here, NASA has known about the situation with the International Space Station for years now. This isn't a surprise to them, but NASA also knows the consequences that Russia will have if they truly were to leave the space station. It's not too far off from a political staring contest, in my opinion. And here's why. When the Russians say that they're going to abandon the ISS, they're just not going to evacuate the whole station and leave all those expensive modules behind for us to use. They actually can detach their section of the station and have a functioning station for themselves, leaving our section without the thrusters to maintain it in LEO, low Earth orbit. I followed the space shuttle program closely. The shuttle was pretty much our SpaceX Now, for example. At that time period, I still remember the rendezvous that were done with the Mir space station. That all started in 1995. It was a pretty optimistic time between the US and the Russians. So many missions were worked on together, in peace. I figured as a kid that the space was probably just a void of peace-loving cosmonauts, US astronauts, and ESA astronauts, determined to represent our planet that all history was based on, right here. Have those times really changed now? Some of you may not know, but the Russian side of the station is responsible for the orbital corrections, keeping the ISS in the right orbit, whereas NASA, or the US segment, is responsible for its power supply with its solar panels. So Russia leaving is actually very significant during this time. The previous chief director of Roscosmos, Rogozin, this guy, has been threatening the US about leaving the space station for years. I'm sure now to just please Putin. But now, with Rogozin gone, bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. The new director, Borisov, will keep the politics alive to go with Putin. For example, you wouldn't see Donald Trump appointing Bill Nelson as director of NASA, right? Seems pretty dumb, huh? But I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. This is just a move to set up his portion and keeping the abandoned date announced by Rogozin. NASA and the administration has said that they will come up with funds to keep the orbiting laboratory in space to 2030. So by then, a commercial aerospace company like Axiom can make the ISS continue to 2050. Europe, Japan, and Canada are all on board with this idea and have already worked on getting technology built. But we still need a thruster section for this to even be possible. I don't think that this is all because of the war in Ukraine, but I'm sure it didn't help giving Russia all these sanctions by multiple countries. The good thing that can come out of this is that this could make the ISS grow. Other countries like South Korea, India, Australia, and others can also join in. So we'll be collaborating a lot now. As long as our budget is supported, we'll be hiring for their support to the ISS. All these countries are growing in technology that we could use for our benefit. Perhaps even a private sector, like I said, Axiom Space, which has had the main contract to build onto the ISS, or maybe even SpaceX can. Unfortunately, I don't see Rocket Lab or Astra or these small private aerospace companies to help us out with the ISS. Their payloads is just way too small, and it's not very efficient at all to send multiple small payloads, but it could help us save our funds for larger payloads or larger rockets, saving our funds for bigger payloads. While the big dogs like SpaceX can focus on sending the newer modules, perhaps on a Falcon Heavy, that's saying if NASA has the budget for that. I've heard people saying, oh, why don't we just launch 2 Starships and we're done? It's not that easy. We haven't even launched 1 Starship yet, much less designed it to dock with anything. SpaceX hasn't even come up with a design for them to dock with each other. Well, maybe until now. We really need to learn from this and understand the differences as soon as there's a sign. Maybe always being a little better prepared always helps. But it all comes down to politics. And that's the reason why I like the private sector so much when it comes to space exploration and technology. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the Russian module and capsules will be suited in a few years to dock with the Chinese space station that they just built and continue with them. My opinion, I don't think they'll actually do that. The Russian space program has been cash-strapped and lacking funds for a couple of years now. And this war hasn't made them any friends. ESA has cut its ties severely with Russia when Rogozin wouldn't launch their AES satellite just last year on a Proton rocket. Even though Roscosmos has developed a plan for the independent space station, I just don't think they have the real funds. Unless something drastically changes in their economy or start collaborating with maybe North Korea, it's purely a chest-raising match at this point. I don't think even Bill Nelson is taking this that serious. It's going to be interesting to follow what exactly is the end game for this situation with Russia and the US and Western Europe, including Japan, India, and China. China is practically beating the United States with rocket launches, but we lead them with technology of satellites. I still wouldn't be placing any bets on anything at the moment, other than perhaps looking at Canada or Axiom and even SpaceX. Blue Origin can play a huge part of this if they can finish developing their BE-4 engine and making it completely functional, which recently they have. We just need a lot of them, and I'll believe it when I see it. I say they just put a curtain in the middle of the ISS with an American flag on one side and a Russian flag on the other, politically speaking, which that's not how the astronauts and cosmonauts work up in space. They always respect each other, but I'm pretty sure that Putin isn't going to like that idea. The only way to keep the ISS operating without Russia short term, like now, before 2024, would be to utilize a capsule with thrusters like the Starliner. Wait a minute, that's right. The Starliner failed in space with its thrusters. Oh no, not good. But you could also use a Crew Dragon capsule, which NASA in the beginning of the year bought 6 of them. I wonder if that's what they bought them for. That at least can keep the ISS afloat for a few more years until Axiom can build their module. And one is just due to be finished in 2024, or so they're saying. And if you're the type of person that believes that the space station is just worthless and we don't really need it, you can get out. Get out right now.
Tic-tac, sir?
Get the hell out of here.
I mean, to be honest, it's a legit choice, just to abandon the space station. But so much is in development there with science experiments and technology. Go check out my Crew 3 video. It talks about all the stuff that they're doing up there. And it's all for the people down here. But I'm not here to change your mind. So I've rambled on for a little bit too long. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Please give this video a like, that way I can know that you stayed till the end, and I can spread the video to other wonderful people like yourself. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.